Mental health is very important for business owners because there's already a lot of pressure when it comes to like, oh, be successful, make millions, billions, trillions. Oh, the first this, the first that. Yes, I look at challenges kind of like sports is like, okay, I don't want to lose, but I'm okay with it because I know that I didn't lose. Like I'm learning something, you know what I'm saying? And I have the opportunity to still be better than I was before. Yeah, so there's a lot of development that takes place with every human. So it's really important for us to understand and have these real conversations. Definitely in the Black community, African community as well, which to me is the same thing. We're kind of taught to like sweep things under the rug. We're taught to just focus on your studies, focus on this, or even when it comes to mental health or someone is battling with the spirit of depression or anxiety or other things related to that. We're not educating one another outside of going to therapy like, okay, how are we processing the reaction, a healthy reaction of someone that expressed themselves through communicating, writing something down that might be triggering to other people that read it. And, working with children as young as 2 and adults as old as 70, it put a lot in perspective because people get really caught up in things in their mind that because they may have been trained a certain way, they don't feel safe enough to express that. And I think that's what triggers a lot of depression, division, issues, mental issues, murder, just a lot of violence. So I definitely am learning and, encourage others as others have to encourage me sometimes too. We have to be more intentional about who we are, how we operate, and even coming back to media. I was called to do media, and there was a point where I was kind of like running away from it because I didn't want to be associated with the negative stuff. I didn't want to be associated with, our people call this culture, and I'm like, I don't know if we would say that's culture, but I had to learn to not focus on what I don't want to do because we got to answer to God. I can't tell him when I answer to him what I didn't want to do, right? I got to focus on what I was called to do.
Wow.
So learning how to just embrace even the things that are not the best, but embrace in a way where you don't advertise it, but you address it and you put it in its rightful place. I think it's important for us in the Black community to really talk about the truth. We don't have to agree all the time, but we can agree to disagree and still be respectful to one another.
For sure, for sure. So how important is mental health towards your business? Because it can affect a lot of things if your mind's not right? So what does that mean to you and how important is it to you?
One of my favorite questions, mental health is actually where I started. Behavioral health really is mental health because mentally how your brain and your mind is operating affects your behavior. It affects your emotions. It affects your mental stability. It affects if you have a sound mind or a double mind. It affects how you physically operate. A lot of times if you're having unhealthy, thoughts and things like that, that absolutely affects. People can get sick off of their mental health if they're not careful. So mental health is very important for business owners because there's already a lot of pressure when it comes to like, oh, be successful, make millions, billions, trillions. Oh, the first this, the first that. Yes, I look at challenges kind of like sports is like, okay, I don't want to lose, but I'm okay with it because I know that I didn't lose. Like I'm learning something, you know what I'm saying? And I have the opportunity to still be better than I was before. But also when it comes to mental health, we're not being honest about the demons that we may say, hey, this is an emotion, but that's not really what it is. And I think we embrace it more than kind of separating, this is this and that is that. So definitely there's a lot of more education, I believe, that would need to be discussed more in mental health, and not just from like a psychiatrist, a doctor, a therapist. Biblically, we need to understand that, God talks about mental health all the time. One of the scriptures that come up to mind is God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. So imagine operating in the world with a sound mind versus fear, anxiousness, worry, doubt, discouragement, depression, anxiety, right? None of those emotions are actually emotions. And the mental health aspect is super important because there's people that can seem like they're living the best lives, and people will say like, oh, they'll die to live and be in that person's shoes. And then you hear about this person committing suicide. So it's one of those things where we really have to have mental health days, like check in, don't go with what everybody else is doing, like give yourself grace. Like I'm in therapy, right? Because I understood over time you don't have to be in therapy like all of your life because it comes back to the work that you do. But it's important to speak to someone that, yes, is licensed, but someone that is also human too. And they can attest to maybe something family or colleagues or other people may or may not understand. But definitely doing mental health things, exercising, yes, is important. Nutrition is important. Sleep is important. Taking care of yourself, which these are all elements of personal development. So as a business owner and someone in the business realm, it's so important to incorporate mental health as a foundation of how you function, because every day is not going to be a good day. You can go through a whole crisis, and there could unfortunately be a business owner out there that could off something or someone or themselves because something crippled. So we have to just understand we're humans and we have to give ourselves grace.
And that you just talked about that, right? Because as an entrepreneur, I'm looking as an athlete transitioning to the business world, right? Athletes, we have seasons, right? We have all seasons. We have, okay, you're in your season, good for a couple months, and then you get a break. But as an entrepreneur, there's really no break. There's really no off season.
No.
So how can you mentally handle that, and how can you put things in place to try to keep your mental sane throughout the whole time?
That's a good question. Everybody's journey in entrepreneurship looks different. So with mine being a bit transparent, when I started my business, I started it before I started it, if that makes sense, years before. However, when I finally made the business entity and stuff like that, I was fully committed. At the time, I was still working with children with special needs at the time before I fully transitioned, because I wanted to incorporate something like that in the area of my business while still keeping that mental health, involved while I do cater in the business development side. When I experienced unexpected injuries, I actually experienced 2 back-to-back. So that wasn't something that I was prepared for, but I had to take a step back from my business. And although it didn't stop me from thinking business at all, I had to physically and mentally take a step back, because the more that I tried to push through, it didn't help me more than, okay, it's kind of like you're trying to work and you haven't slept in 48 hours. You're gonna crash. Computers crash, technology crashes. So humans are definitely going to crash if we don't take a step back. So definitely in the journey of entrepreneurship, again, yes, it's not easy, but it's necessary. It's necessary because when we're called to do something, when we're called to fulfill something, it's not supposed to be easy. And even with what you said about sports, right? There's so many different things that would take place in the realm of sports as an athlete, and you're kind of pulled in all these different ways, and to a certain extent, for sure, in business. But you have to learn the importance of wisdom. Wisdom, as the Bible said, is the principal thing. Get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding. Wisdom is honestly the foundation of life, because when you learn the importance of when to speak, when not to speak, when to rest and when to be active, when to apply your faith and when to be aware that you may have fear in that moment, and just discernment. It puts a lot in perspective as a business owner. And going back to even mental health itself, it gives you that peace that surpasses all understanding as well, too.
I love it. Now we get to the hot seat questions of the interview. You ready for it?
Yes.
Cool. What is the craziest thing somebody did to try to impress you?
Okay. I said I was ready. Okay. That's a good question. I'm roaming through my mind because
Had a couple.
I've experienced some pretty interesting things, whether it was directly to me or I've seen it, or maybe someone shared that with me. So that is really, really funny. Okay. All right. So my answer for that would be, I would say there's a couple that come to mind, but let me just keep it brief. But I would say college, and maybe it doesn't sound crazy to someone, but one thing I've learned about men, people, but let me say men because I'm a woman, persistence can sometimes look crazy.
Sure.
I'll just say that.
Sure.
And even as business owners, sometimes persistence may look crazy too. Let me say that. But one thing about me, sometimes, I may find myself in an ignore space or just kind of very laser focused on what I am doing. So I mean, it takes a lot for me to be in a place where I'm like interested in a man. Like, of course, there's handsome men all the time, but I'm very like focused on like, life, purpose, what am I called to do? So if I get to a place where I may be interested in someone, it's pretty interesting to get there. So I guess I would say in my story of using that example to answer your question, I had someone in college that was very persistent. When I first got to college, I attended Lincoln University for roughly about 2 years, the first HBCU. So shout out to them.
Shout out HBCUs.
Yes. So I remember when I first got on campus, I didn't know anybody and I was fine with it. I know how to walk by myself. I can breathe my own breath. I can definitely get along with people, but I can move by myself too. So I just figured at times when I would eventually build relationships or have relationships with people, that will come. But I just want to focus on class, just really laser focused. So there were men that, of course, expressed their interest in me. And I was kind of like, okay, I hear you talking. But this particular individual was very interesting. He was definitely a performer. I would say that. So I would say to answer your question, there was a lot of singing.
Oh, wow.
There was a lot of performance type of things because, he was very talented in a lot of spaces in the performing arts place. But, he did legitimately know how to sing. Not saying that's always something that I would be attracted to or maybe women. But although it may not sound crazy to others, he was very persistent about it and just kind of break out in like singing or dancing and stuff like that.
Wow.
To be honest, sometimes I feel a little embarrassed because that's not really something I signed up for. So I would say that'd be one of my little crazy stories.
Did it win your heart or?
To, be transparent, I mean, we did end up dating, but it just got to a point where it's like, if Usher sings a song and you can sing the song, I still may want Usher to sing it. But he was pretty persistent and eventually it got to me. So it like worked until it didn't. But I would say that was a crazy one I could share for today.
So for the fellas out there, sing to win the heart. Once you had the heart, stop singing.
Please. Be yourself, but just relax.
I love it. So where can the audience find you for your media company and everything?
Yes, for anyone that is interested in LadyEEffect, we provide media digital marketing solutions. We are really all-inclusive. You're welcome to join us on the LadyEEffect.com. I'm also the 77 president media of the Sevens Collective. It is an amazing private membership ecosystem that really specializes around sports media entertainment, but also everything top industry from finance, legal, realty, also like real estate, and just everything under the sun that really is designed to help businesses of all degrees, seasoned professionals, athletes, solopreneurs, and we have amazing things that we're looking to do for those that, whether they're minorities or people that just don't know the ins and outs of things that for over 30 years we've been contributing to sports and just business industries in general. So you can also visit us at thesevenscollective.com. I also became, not too long ago, IMAP Strategic Solutions, one of the accountant executives. It is an amazing, amazing business that's been around for almost 35 years. And it really specializes in helping individuals and teams and businesses to really be their best selves, taking things that may be a challenge or considered a weakness and actually thriving off of your passions, what you're called to do, and just really helping you see the best version of yourself so you can really make more applicable, who you are in your business and development expertise. So you're welcome to visit us on that website as well. But yes, we are going deeper into a digital age. So I would love to help any business, any size, franchise, small, any industry. In all ways, we do SEO, we do social media management, we do paid advertising, media buying. We also do LinkedIn services, YouTube services, podcasts, and so much more. So you're free to book a call with me. We also have our YouTube and audio podcast platform, which, as he stated, the LadyEEffect. We're going on, this has been years in the making, but we're about to approach our 2-year anniversary as of December 24th, 2024. So super excited about that. And thank you everybody for the support, and definitely looking forward to your episode when that comes out. But overall, I'm so passionate about people and helping the businesses thrive, especially people that look like us. So definitely reach out to me. I have an amazing team of experts that know what you need to help your business thrive, especially in this digital age. This is a time for our people to capitalize, take our wealth back, take our power back, take our authority back, and really just be the legends that we are. It's time to take that back.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for coming on the show. Anything you want to say to your fans, supporters out there?
God bless you. Just be the light that you are. As the Bible says, let your light shine before men so they can see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So be that light. We really are that light. And thank you to all of you that have been supporting and those that do come to support after you see this recording. God bless you all. I love you all. And thank you all for the support again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.